There we go. This is one busy street here, and it's beautiful. Lots and lots of activity. Lots and lots. Plus, it's also near I-4. Lots and lots of activity. It's an original building day 23. Oh yes, it's a busy day for his servant. This is also, like we said, a busy street, busy area, busy road. We can see new activity, new environments being created. If you can't tell by now where his servant is, we're down at that 1500. No more Pinnacle. It's not that building anymore. Looks like they have multiple investors, whatever you would like to call them, but you can see they came and looked like they cut the field again, but this is really growing out of hand here. We have to be careful. You know, when I was pulling up over here from the last time and had that strange fire, and how the Lord let us stay here for about a minute or two, and how the Lord gave us to go beyond the burning bush of Moses, and gave us to look at it in a higher place. And of course, we don't want to really get into that. We'll just attach the actual video. So that was like the last time we came to the building, and we weren't here for the windows. It was the fire that got his servant attention. We had to lift up thine eyes. And then it was at that moment that the Spirit had us to remember the video about the fire down there at 709 Edgewater Drive. I want to get this number here. $29. But nevertheless, here as well, we're going to go back on this other side here, but there is Glad over there. We were parked over there, just being parked. How we heard the Lord say, you know, to be careful of squatters. I believe that's what you call them, squatters. And you remember how we talked about the Caucasian, right? Caucasian. That's what you call it, Caucasian. MD, get it right. Because, you know, when you're talking about different things, it's like, and different races, why can't we just be a U.S. citizen of the United States of America? That's how MD making that approach. You know, no, I'm a citizen. When they want to say you're black, blue, purple, orange, green, yellow. No, I'm a citizen of the United States of America. All that other stuff. And remember, oh, they're Caucasian. Oh, they're Haitian. Oh, no. Well, mother, what are you? On my father's birth certificate, it says color. So when they look at it, they like, well, what color are they? See, they can't like stereotype you or like put you in a bracket or like, you know, target bullseye. That's the one we want. No, and all they get, at least you get an opportunity. You understand? Then all of a sudden they wanted to start labeling people black and, you know, and different things. It just caused a whole lot of division. How come? How come it just can't be as light as I'm a citizen of the United States of America? That's all I know, you know, and let's lose that. Why don't somebody come out and just get rid of that? Take that off of every application. Take that off of certain things that want to limit you and keep you in a certain perimeter. But the Lord gives us to be careful of squatters. So it looks like squatters have taken over that, which is a very nice was a very nice woman. Spoke every time we were down here. We said hi, you understand, and had a couple of words with each other. Then all of a sudden, MD just stopped seeing her there, you know, and so that looks like because the house is vacant, you understand, it's like anyone, like we saw the last time we were here, can like stay outside of there, and it's really, believe it or not, it's just a matter of time before they start working their way on the inside. But anyway, let me just get a little bit of point in the direction of the building over here. You can see the door is open over there. I'm sure MD, you know who MD is. MD could just walk up in there and probably get a full tour. But we had bigger interest as we watch this building continue to unfold. And like you have seen since the day of October the 25th of 2018, first lift up thine eyes to see this, and you, from day one, the journey to look upon this building, you wouldn't even have known it was a building back there, but it was. And to see the journey of this building and to see that his servant was a part of that and all is amazing, just amazing. And it looks like it might be things up against the window, so you can't really see. It looks like some kind of black type of plastic or covering over the windows. And so we'll see how that develops as well. But just a couple of things, since it is building day and all, I've come into agreement with my son. He's flying out right now as we're speaking. And all, and he's got out of town business and all, but just sharing with him, you know, we are pursuing a building, and you can see the buildings that have been of interest for his servant and to his servant. But on today, I mean, I'm telling you, this is a busy street. This is a busy road. And on today, you know, proposed some interest to him, and he had to suddenly take a trip out of town. But what blew his servant mind was to be able to convey it over to him, you know, who does this for reference. He does this. He finds the land. He sells lands, he gets buildings and things like that, you know, and that's why we called him on board, and he took the time to come and to participate and help in making sure that nothing slips through by way of paperwork. And like we said, that there's a lot to getting a building, there's a lot to getting land, and you see all the shifts that have taken place here lately, and people that once owned homes and buildings and businesses are now having to sell their businesses, sell their homes, and all because they're being hit with a huge tax payment, you understand? And some of them just say they just can't do it. Well, looks like they've covered this one area here, and you still see some piping over there still need to be done. But nevertheless, many have had to sell or get loans and things like that. And so we are very conscious of that. Love this right here. Something about this area here. It's like it's changing in a certain degree. But like we said, you can really, like, you know, with a plan and with a vision, this is a powerful area just by itself. This whole strip right here. We won't even put it on camera what we see this could be. But this is a beautiful area right here to really do something to extend this part of the building. But yes, that's what it looks like. It's like a black skirt, like black skirts up to the actual windows. We're not going to do a full walk. I'm just doing a light building day. It's been a little minute since we've done that, but you can see we see new like ducts, air ducts, or whatever that might be up there. But you can see there's new fixtures around here. So yeah, this particular building took some gutting out. It took a lot because this building had been vacant for a very long time. And since we can remember, since October the 25th of 2018. But back to my son, talking to my son, and I'm like, you know what? I've said maybe we may be going about this not the wrong way, but maybe a little lengthy of a way, and all. When it comes down to like the building, because you could see that MD has, and the shade is on this side of the building too, and you know, you see all of the buildings that is of interest unto his servants, giving those an idea that who would love to be a part, come in the covenant and all this, because believe it or not, this is covenant. This is not just someone just throwing out an idea. You understand? And you know, just looking for anybody to just come on board. No, these are faithful, committed, covenant storehouse workers that are really going to enjoy the fruit of his servant labor. You understand? And putting this out there and putting this forward and continue to doing this and having many opportunities to give up and quit and stop. You know. But yet we're pressing forward, and look at how far we've come, to the point that we came to 26 years of residency here in Florida, that in a few more months, not long now, we're going to actually, the double is upon us, and the ministry of I Am Sent Me is going to hit. That's that big year. That's that huge thing, that 26. Seeing that we started ministry here in Florida on a day 26, and that is actually our official building day. But here as well as when I Am Sent Me took on a body right here in the state of Florida, in Orlando at that. So we believe that we've really branched a lot out of Florida, even by way of the P.O. Box 683165, Orlando, Florida 32868-3165. We've done a lot of branching out through that one little box. Now, what if that is the actual place to branch out from? So a lot of things have come into perspective, and of course, you know, he's been a lot of help in like really, like, you know, becoming grounded and so official in the things that we're doing. And seeing that he has the experience, and, you know, those that really get within an arm reach and a hug know that he is his servant financial advisor and all this. So he's like putting his hand to the plow and putting his hand on the wheel, and like he's there for anything and assistance in which, you know, his servant might need. And his servant, you know, because of the blessing of promise, is not so happen to be his mother. I am his mother. And so to see that he would take this time to use all of his professionalism to bring it to the forefront, in which created, you understand, even the very making of him and where he is today, to take that experience and to take that investment and now turn it around and like, I'm here, mother, for you. That's powerful. And so we're learning a lot of things that we have not known through the years and have not been voluntarily given unto his servant. And so, you know, when you don't get that like volunteer, like you volunteer, sometimes it can take a little bit longer. And like we said, if MD have to come all the way out of pocket, you understand, which MD shouldn't have to for the last 26 years now, or should we say, let's go back and let's do the math. For the last, we'll say around 2020 is when we brought out to the vision and we began to bring more into the vision, like the REST. It was at that moment, you understand, that we decided for the next 20 years where we were going to make our investment. Like we had gone a whole 20 years just giving back everything. The ministry, I Am Sent Me, his servant, Mother Doris, did not take one dime for the ministry. We gave it back. We helped keep homes, people in their homes. We kept people with transportation, helping people that created even problems for themselves. You understand, paid their mortgages, did a whole lot of things. Now this is just an individual, just one individual, and all that. We don't take the credit. We give all glory and honor back to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for just even affording us the opportunity to be able to do so. So we didn't take not one dime. Today we can say that everything we have and whatever it is that we do have and all is paid for. We have no debt. And that's beautiful, because we're talking about now the Signature Storehouse. What does it look like for the Signature Storehouse to be a place of debt? to be a place where you're a taskmaster and you work the people and all, and you work them and work them and work them and still don't know what it is that you're working towards. And so to be able to express that now, I'm like, it's not so much going in the wrong direction and seeing a building and liking the building and like we said, this goes way back. This goes all the way back to 1999. So, this is not the first building. We had many, many buildings, and this looked like this might be the color of this building, that it might be like, blended in, like a blend to like all the others that are down here. Nothing too bright to stand out, but we'll see. It's still developing. It's taking a little time, but it's still development. Of course, we was told that we could lease something out here, but MD is not being pushed in that direction. Excuse me if that's what you might think. We want our own. We want our very own land and building and everything that comes with it. We want the ALL that comes with it. And so being able to have opportunity like this where we can get out and get in the land and discuss things with people and then hear their what they've done to become where they are and where they started from and building like what needs to be built, and amazed me, had to lift up thine eyes, and how someone put enter here. Oh, wait a minute, let me read here. No, that's better. BETTER. Look like somebody wrote here better here, or better is here. Something like that is written on there. We don't want to go up on there because we can see that big old sign right there. So I'm going to glance over at that right there. Someone started writing on that there. Look like it says better. And then you look there, you see that HERE somewhere in there, right in that area there. But hear us well. Seeing how others do, what they do and what they've done has really been an inspiration to a servant to say that it can be done. We have a saying out there, one of MD's favorite saying, that says it can be done. I got to find that because we're going to walk that one all the way out. Look like we see a second door that just opened in this area over here behind this. Look like a crane right here. But nevertheless, still feet is in action at this building, seeing what's going on. And there has been, once again, some type of delay. At 1 minute they said someone had bought it, and then I believe maybe there might be a change in his plan of action, where instead of him going by way of like he said he had employees or whatever like that, like 6 of them, they'd outgrown the space or whatever, and they got this building here. And while we were bidding 1.2, he bid 1.3. And all. But like we said, this building has been vacant for a long time. And even upon his servant discovery of this building, it took, I believe his name was Rick down the street. He said that this building had been vacant long before that. To his count, it was like from anywhere from 10 to 12 years. Then when we spoke to the son of Rivera's, to Junior, Jose Rivera's Jr., he said that the water in this particular building, that's why you see them working on that piping over there, had not been moved or used in such a big building. So you have to turn it on. You can't just let it sit. And so it had not been turned on. What he estimated was like 10 years. And so, all of this is inspiration, inspiring his servant, and all. And one of our biggest thank you goes out to even like 709 Edgewater Drive, to be able to go on the inside of that and all, and to operate from the inside, sit at those those meetings and things like that, and be able to hear their agenda and where they were going and what they wanted to do. This is important. These are things you need to know that keeps businesses operable, because of the fact that you must have a plan. You must have a plan of the day, a plan of the month, a plan of the year. You understand? And you should continue to want to move and keep moving. You should not be so complacent in one area that, that something starts to not work and you just let it fall to the side and just like, well, it's not working, and that's where you get stuck. No, you need to have a plan of a day, plan of the day, plan of the month, I hear the Spirit saying, even a plan of the week. Because, there are so many, even builders, big ministries now that doesn't have all of that, you see, and they just count on like just a day of coming together and expect that to just take care like for the whole month. That's like, and I'm gonna do it again. That's like someone who doesn't have a vision. You understand? That's like someone who doesn't have a vision, because those that have a vision, they see far. They see way out there, you see, and they begin to plan. They don't wait till a storm hit or whatever like that, or something like go. No, we've already prepared and we've made that preparation, like 7 years in advance, you understand, for certain things that we see coming, and we want to be ready. Listen at that word right there. We want to be ready for whatever comes. All right, so we're out here. This is where we chose to be for the building, original building day 23. That's going to be up and running, and the feed is going to be in action, and we're moving right along, because guess what? March the 26th. Oh my goodness, that is going to hit 26. So we're going to be having 26 all across the board, 26 years of residency, 26 years of ministry, you understand, on a day 26. So we're excited about that in a way that it brings us so much joy that, and this is where we're going to conclude. I'm mother. We all out there in the wind. I'm appointed mother. Amen. Founder of I Am Sent Me. Builder of the signature storehouse. It's bigger than me. Carrier of the blessing of promise. And this is day 23. It's September the 23rd of 2024. We are in the 9th month. And when you see MD all full of joy like this, because we know we continue to birth, forever birthing. That's why you hear her service so excited about using that word mother, according to that large white figure that appointed us mother. You understand? Is because we know that during certain times of the year, we're in such a powerful place in spirit that we're just birthing. You understand? We're pushing everything out of us that should, I feel God right there, that should come out of us. You understand? So we ran it across him, and he just started laughing. I guess he was waiting on, his servant to go in that direction, even his mother to be able to agree. You understand? Because even though he buys the houses, he was going to the next level where he's going into buying land. And then when he heard his mother say, you know what, it's not so much we're going in the wrong direction. How about we just go buy a piece of land? When I said that, when his servant said that to him, he smiled. We were FaceTiming at the moment. He just smiled to be smiling. And, we can do that. And we can do that right now. And so that's what we decided to do. And then he was called out of town. And so, we're going to get back on this. I'm out in the city, that Go City. That's where we are today. And I'm just out looking around for some land and things like that we can just, put up a big old sign. I am sent. Future home. Something. I feel God. Look at that. Look at that. Amen. Just look in all areas, to not get stuck in one area, to not get stuck in one part or one portion, and to say that's it in all. And so, maybe perhaps he's been waiting on me to like give the go ahead in to do so. But that's where we done put it out for him to begin to scout, look, begin to survey, begin to do all of that, because, to tell the truth, and I am, it's something about Orlando. We know that Orlando, there is something bigger, better, brighter, you understand, that has Orlando all in it. Orlando has gone through a lot of changes from 1980, the first time his servant foot hit Florida to come to boot camp. Right here in Florida, Orlando, Florida, has really gone through a lot of changes, a lot of transformation, all kinds of things. And but it's one of the most, could be, we'll put it to you like how we hear it in the place of spirit. It could be one of the most booming, blooming, blossoming kind of place in the United States. Especially like this one area, even though it looks like some of the main attractions, Disney World, some of the main attractions and all is about to leave here. It's something bigger, better, brighter coming. Sometimes something that looked like it was taking all the shine or whatever might have to get out the way for the new that's coming, because it's coming and it's going to brighten up Florida. It's going to brighten up Orlando. It's going to brighten up a whole lot of things. And what we see right now is not what's going to always be. And so we have to continue to move, and here's the light. We have to continue to move in the direction of the Lord. They need to get this right here. They actually it looks like it was attached to like a sign, and instead of just bending it over, it's a very dangerous, you look through, I'm telling you, the eyes of the Lord that are in every place, beholding, listen to this and hear it in place of spirit, the evil and the good. It's always the evil first, that the eyes of the Lord is, see or whatever. Then you got the eagle eyes, don't miss nothing. Very detailed. You can see this one part over here. You can see it's up straight. But this one over here, perhaps that's where a sprinkler might have been. And it was supporting the sprinkler. And it's bent over like that. But these are dangerous objects, especially if someone is out of running from anywhere, or maybe like what you can see over here, might be drinking or something and staggering all in there. That's very, very dangerous. But if you look around Florida, and his servant has had a lot of feet in action in Florida, I've seen a lot of things that maybe other folks may not see or pay attention to. And in doing so, we've seen some very dangerous spots. Very, very dangerous spots. We see how even the railroads need to be repaired, and they're still in use. If you got to run across, if you have to drive across them and it shakes your whole vehicle, or it feel like you're about to have a flat tire because they need to put some maintenance on them railroad tracks, and maintenance on these roads. And I'm telling you, so much. And then you wonder where all your money is going. Now, this is where we're about to bop out of here, and we still have more stops to go. We still have other things to do, but we haven't done an original building day for a good minute. This is a perfect time to do it in our most blessed number, which is 23. Okay, this is the best time. And next month is that big old month where October the 23rd is going to hit. Who knows what's going to happen? Only the Spirit of God. Who knows if we might not hold a meeting? Who knows if we might just, do something special? Who knows? But right now we at this place called We Keeping It Moving. Or we're not getting stagnated or stuck, because we know that the next major move is one of the ones that God is saying, because you was faithful over few, make you ruler over many. We're not going after the few anymore. We're going after the masses. So we believe God for bigger, better, brighter things. It's just awesome. And we're just so excited with, full of that joy to be able to share it with you, even during the times that we're going through, because these next 2 months are going to be months. And it's not just because of the voting and all of that, because we already know the narrative and the swaying of the votes and things like that. But whatever God says, that's what's going to go. Whatever the Spirit says, that's what's going to fly. And so we need to make sure that we're in touch with the Spirit. We are hearing the Spirit. We are obeying the Spirit. You understand that we are walking in true obedience, not according to our flesh, but according to the Spirit. We want to make sure that we are hearing what thus saith the Spirit of truth. What is being said by way in which we have heard, according to what God is saying. Not what we want to hear, not what we want to say, but what is the Spirit? What is God having to say? What is the Spirit of the Lord? My God, what does the Spirit of the Lord God has to say? And that if we stay in touch with the Spirit, and those that hear the Spirit and they are led by the Spirit, we are coming together, and it's going to be a powerful come together. Are you hearing me? And so to be able to come come down here and all. We're keeping you in touch with that and all, and we're making ready to get. I'm telling you, and you know, MD, we've done tents, we've done it all, to tell you the truth. So there's no one particular area that his servant would feel uncomfortable in, because we've done it all. You understand? In these years, hitting 40 years of ministry, July the 22nd of this year, 40 years of ministry, we've done it all. At the age of 22, ministering in larger fellowships and traveling all over the country, revivals, conference, we've done it all. Radio, television, you understand? And we're looking for that higher height. You understand? We done went to that deeper depth. We're looking for higher heights to be able to take the ministry to its highest place where God get that. It's called glory, y'all, where God gets that glory and that his glory shall be seen. And so, like we said, this is an original building day. It is September the 23rd of 2024. I'm appointed mother, his servant, founder of I Am Sent Me, builder of the Signature Storehouse, carrier of the blessing of promise. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening and all, and we just believe God to just come in connection and to come into oneness with those that are like-minded. Do you know what will happen when you come in connection with like-minded people? I'm telling you, it's like that. It's like that. It's almost like that boomerang. It's almost like that Yahoo. You understand? We'll look for that and we'll put that out there for you to see it. It's been a minute since his servant used that, but that's coming back to the place of spirit. But nevertheless, I want to share some things with you before closing this particular video on today, because we believe it was in Tampa a few days ago on the 18th. We was out in Tampa. And in all the places, listen to this and hear us in place of the Spirit. Of all the places where God is sending his servant, being led by the Spirit, and where God is sending us. In all the places that God is sending us, I'm going to go and face the field on this one. In all the places that God is sending us, because not a lot of you know the field work of his servant. Even as an evangelist, you don't know the field work. And it takes work when you're in the field. But nevertheless, of all the things that we are looking upon, and we'll make sure that thought that we were going where we're going, in the direction we were going, does not be dismissed. But being in Tampa, meeting new people, very nice people. Thank God when we share the testimony, it's going to be mind-blowing once again, because our God is an awesome, amazing, just amazing, working wonder, working miracles, supernatural things that cannot even be expressed or explained through the natural mouth or mouth of flesh. It has to be all spirit. God, I thank you. But it's coming. But hear us well in the place of spirit. Having this opportunity afforded to us once again, and this time it's in Tampa. We go out there. And one thing we want to share with you, and we almost got some of it, and was going to push even more on the 20th, because, on the 20th, that's the Lord's Day. But when we go over to the wall of Mother Divine, you would see that there is a long journey in which you would hear us bring you into a place where it's decision-making time. And one of the decisions that man would have to make would be L-O-R-D or L-A-W. We slow down and we spell it out to you. Because, you're going to slow down and you're going to teach an ignorant folk. And we say to you, ignorant is not a bad word. We don't like that B-A-D. It's not a bad word. But if you don't know something, you just don't know it. Right? And so we saw how man was running, thinking he's running from the law, but he's actually running from the Lord. He's running from being, from saying yes to the Lord. So there's a whole lot of things going on in man. We said to you, once man get right, the woman's going to be all right. And so in doing so, we were about to come and hit it this particular month on 9/20. We were going to hit it, put it out there, and bring you back to the Lord and the LAW, right? Lord or law. And some would say, well, I want both of them. And then they wonder why they keep, like a recycled, something recycled, just, going through the same thing over and over and over and over. No, we want to put a stop to it. You're going to start seeing more of that stop it oil, the yoke, anointing yoke destroying oil. You're going to see that stop it bottle. It's coming up very soon on the 25th. We believe it's on the 25th. I believe that's the date on the bottle. We will double check. And if we need to make a correction, it'll be right about here. But we believe that stop it with a powerful testimony. We believe that's coming up in this month, September the 25th of 2011. And so we put it out there, stop it, because so many people, they want that multiple choice, that A, B, C, D, none of the above, E, F, G, none of the above. And they wonder why they're so confused and where there's a spirit of confusion when we know that God is not the author of confusion. So when we look at that and all, we just say we got to get back to the black and white, or get back to the yes or no, or right, wrong, or sin. Calling it sin, just calling it what it is, heaven, hell, that kind of thing, because anything else brings about confusion. Because, you have too much, even though we given that opportunity to choose ye this day, it's not difficult. You understand? To choose ye this day is not difficult. As so many would want it to be difficult, it is not difficult. This car pulls up to this house, so we'll just keep an eye on what's going on here. But it's not difficult. And we know these kind of trucks right here. These aren't just regular trucks. These are like, how you doing? Yeah, these are like when we see these are undercover cops. So we'll see what's going on. And when MD worked that field, so we know we on them streets, so we know. Got a powerful post that we're about to put out there that says we really could be about that life. But it's about making the right decisions, and we have made the right decisions and things like that. But hear us well, if you would. And all. And I love the people down here because, when you have a certain way about yourself, you can walk anywhere. It could be a predominant white area. It could be whatever it is. And we love those kind of challenges going up in those areas. We do not feel inferior. You understand? We do not feel threatened by no means at all. And also, we'll see what's going on over here. But nevertheless, if you could hear us well. If you could hear us well. If you could hear us well. And all. When we had this opportunity out in Tampa, one thing we're really getting ready to push out there for you to see is that we're not here. You know how Jesus said he didn't come to do away with the law, but to fulfill it, because the law is overwhelmed. The law has so much going on that they don't know what to do. You look around, you see a surveillance going up everywhere because the law is having trouble with the law. It's almost like, I'm going to put it out there and keep moving. It can't stay here too long. It's almost like the law is breaking the law. Like the other day we saw a law enforcement, and hopefully this will stay up. When you start telling on folks, they cut it out or they put muted or whatever like that. But saw the law with the big old do not enter sign. You know how you come out, like if you was to go to the end of the street here, the end of this road right here, it's a road. So you go to the end of this road, and the end of that road may have like where it's incoming traffic that can only come in this direction, and the light might be behind this building, might be up the way here, and there's a light up there. But rather go up there to the light, they would go across and would go into the do not enter, and the sign would be right there. That's what getting service. The sign would be right there for so many people. The sign be right there. Like we said, you got a big old billboard over your head, and you still act like you don't see it. But a big old do not enter. And guess what the law enforcement did? He went through there, he looked around, and then he pulled up and he went on in there. He was not pursuing anybody. He didn't have that, he didn't have none of that going on. He just decided, I won't be going up to that light. I'm just going to go straight across the street. So the law is breaking the law, which makes the law even more busier. That many people, which the law is to protect, you understand, and keep the peace and the law and the order, they're the ones breaking it. So if they're the ones breaking it, guess what happens? Guess what happens? No one seems like they want to trust the law anymore. And so even the law is overwhelmed. So when you get in a situation, because the law is overwhelmed based upon they could be having their own home problems and their own home situations, and they can't separate home from the actual job that they got to go in and serve diligently and uphold kind of thing, that they're doing all kinds of things. So what we see now with even the way that Jesus chose, by saying, because many saw him as a threat to the law, because Jesus come doing things of the Spirit, and it didn't go well with those that did not know the Spirit. So he let them know, he didn't come to break the law or to do away with the law, but to fulfill it. Well, that's the same light that we take towards the signature storehouse and the courthouse. We say that we don't come to do away with the courthouse, but we come to fulfill the courthouse, which means there are a lot of people that go to them courthouses. There's a lot of people that's in trouble with the law. There's a lot of people that's going through a whole lot of things, you understand? And many of them are as innocent. There are many folks that have found themselves good people now. There's that world of good over there at Ritagwa. There's a lot of good people in the world that have had not good things happen to them. But does that make them a not good or no good individual? No. And so the storehouse is like that mediator. It's like that go-between. It's like that gap between hell and the grave. It's like that gap, you understand, between sin and death. It's that gap, you understand, and snatching as many of them, like my aunt says, snatch as many of them, snatch them out of hell. You understand? Snatch them out of hell. You understand? Keep snatching them out of hell is what she said. And so, that's what we're there for. And a lot, believe it or not, y'all gonna get mad right about here, but a lot of money go to the storehouse. Now, let me rewind that. Now, I'm gonna keep that there, Lord. Now, I'm gonna keep that there, because y'all know MD didn't mean to say that. Oh, MD, you did. But I'm gonna keep that, because a lot of money go to the storehouse. We want to really say that, but really we were going to say a lot of money go to the courthouse. But instead, we said a lot of money go to the storehouse. So I'm gonna receive that. I'm taking that in. Even though in the place of spirit, from his service standpoint, we were going to say a lot of money goes to the courthouse. And we even shared with you, there's a post that we have. We'll go back and get it and probably put it here and up on the wall as well, where we're sharing with you that what if these signature storehouses look like that courthouse? Oh, my goodness, my goodness. Do you see the level of housing? Do you see the level? That's right, because storehouse not only stores, it also houses. Do you see the level of housing that could go there, instead of people just going in there, just, putting money in there and maybe be sent away or whatever like that? It's a lot of money that goes, I'll get this correct this time, but then receive it too also as a blessing. There's a lot of money that goes into the courthouse. Now, there's a lot of money that goes into the storehouse because the servant put it in there. You understand? We would like to even like see as much as we put in there in these coming up on 26 years. We would like to see all that come back. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we continue to push forward and go beyond to do so. And Lord, may you bless every flight that's going out right now in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But let me tell you something. You understand? Just to think that there would be like a balance somewhere there. We wouldn't mind paying tribute, like Jesus, doesn't offend them if we do not pay tribute. No, we will pay tribute. You understand? And all, because we believe that if the courthouse can have that, then so should the storehouse. You understand? That's our main objective. That's our main, what we see that far off. That's that what we called the vision. That's the ultimate. If you could hear us in the place of the wind, place of spirit, that's the ultimate vision for the storehouse. You understand? We look at it not in comparison, but in fulfillment. You see, in doing a bigger, better, brighter thing. Because here's where we just draw the line. If we were to draw the line in the sand, drawing the line in the sand, if you would hear us and catch us in place of the spirit. Just saw this one particular thing come by way of TikTok. We wish we had literally, I believe her name was Betty Brown. See, that comes through the place of spirit. Her name is Betty Brown. You can Google this. You can do it on TikTok. And Betty Brown spent 29 years locked up. You know, Betty, my mom said the only way that they would get me locked up and keep me locked up is over you, Doris, or one of my children. One of you see my mama, that was somebody, but she never had a day of trouble with the law. So that speaks volumes when you see someone like that. But her name was Betty Brown. She was 53 years of age, and they said that the warden, that he said that those women that are incarcerated like that, they age quickly. So she's 53. She's fully gray. You understand? And she looks much older, but she's just 53. He said they age quickly or quicker. When they finished doing a review on her, she was there, I believe, for like second-degree murder. This is what his servant would love for you to hear when we say that how the courthouse make a lot of money. And if the storehouse could even be like, and fulfill that, it would be much, much more. But as they was talking to Betty Brown, she said this. She was sharing a lot of things with it. And then when the one that was doing the report, this is what she put into that. She said that the case, or just her alone, Betty Brown alone, being in prison now, not just in prison, for 29 years, cost the government, cost us over $1 million. That's a lot of money. Y'all may not think so, but for one person, can you even but imagine? Because there are others that has served more time. How about the one just was released with 38 years? For her alone, that one case for her was $1 million. I'm telling you, the vision for the storehouse, when we see it, and we've seen it in place of spirit, we had to come to the place when we bop it out, we say it's big. When we see that THEE, and that's the signature of the signature storehouse, that's the signature of the storehouse, we have to admit, we have to say, we have to even acknowledge, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than I feel God. It's bigger than I am sent me. The signature storehouse is bigger than I am sent me. So we're looking to see all of that come back. Not in comparison, but in fulfillment. We're looking for God to give it back to us 100 to 1,000, to return it 1,000-fold. According to those 1,000 offerings of Solomon, because we had so many offerings that we offered to God. We gave it back to God. We took not one dime. And that's why we became trustworthy of the dime. To now that you see us raising every dime to the awareness of a building. This right here is building. Everything we do is building. Being able to share with you something that's bigger than me, bigger than I am sent me. And that's the signature storehouse. Where we don't want to be in comparison to the actual courthouse, but we want to be, the desires of his servant is to be a fulfillment of the courthouse, because a lot of those that are in the courthouse, and going off for a long period of time in the prison, if there was someone or something in the gap, like the Signature Storehouse, that stores and house, we can help a whole lot that are abused, abandoned, and alone. That's that 3A, that's that AAA coming at you. So it's bigger than me. And his servant is excited to be able to share from the heart of his servant what's bigger than me. Me got out of the way a long time ago in the high place when the Spirit says step aside. So those that are interested and you would love to be a part and hear more about this, the blueprint is already out there. It's in Isaiah 60, 1 through 22. That's our blueprint. That's the blessing of promise that cannot lie. And we've come a long ways, and we're months within reaching a very powerful goal of I Am Sent Me, and that's going to be on day 26. That's March the 26th of 2024. Well, we've been here longer than we thought to be here, but you know how it is when MD get out there in that place of spirit. It's a powerful place to be, and that's the only place we really want to be. And until we meet again, this has been day 23. It's that most blessed number of the servant, 23. 2-5, always representing that grace. Thank God for the grace of God. And it is that time where we come and you'll see His servant at a particular location that has a building. And at that building, we will be sharing part of the vision and part of the things that God has poured into His servant's spirit and all. And so the next building day, you know what that is. It's on the 26th. Our original building days is on day 6, day 13, day 23, 26, and also day 30. Those are the originals. Of course, we have an additional to know more. You must get within that arm reach and a hug. All information is provided right there, right at I Am Sent Me. For some, it could be that little bop over, but nevertheless, let's come into covenant. Let's come together. Let's come into agreement. Thank God for the committed, faithful ones that are honest, that God can trust you. You understand? God can trust you with His money. People get mad and it's like, that's my money. Y'all stay with that. That's my money stuff. But those that really realize and know that God is first in your life before anything else, God is first. Those are the ones that God is truly raising up. And those are the ones that God, when he establishes a thing, He blesses that thing. Because you can have money and no blessing. But if you're blessed to have money and there's a blessing on that money, that will multiply and it will increase. And it will increase, not decrease. That is not part of His servant vocabulary. We're in extension of those that know we're about increase. And my God, we have some testimony. Feel a yoke coming. We have testimony to show you and testify of God's goodness, of people that have increased, that they can not only just tithe weekly, they can tithe daily. And it's not no little here, little there. You understand? They forever increasing. And that's the blessing of what we see that's inside the blessing of promise. Well, until then, we'll close this one with, and definitely because it is a scheduled one, and we haven't done one in a very long time because our schedule has been very, very busy and all. But yet we reach for those two words. They're small words connected as one and all, because that's what we know we're headed into as we go towards not just only the blessing of promise, but we're coming into that time where He restoreth our soul, that restoration and all of that. And so we have to end with this one particular, how we close every video that is scheduled and is a scheduled live with just this light word, no more.